Welcome back to HEAVEmedia.com's Take It or Heave It, your weekly video guide to new music,
where we take the albums that we like and we heave the ones that we don't like.
I'm Wes Soltis, editor-at-large of HEAVE Media, where you can go and read our new interview with the fucking champs.
And I'm Ryan Peters. I'm an associate editor at HEAVEmedia.com.
Today we're going to try a little something new. We're calling it 5 albums in 5 minutes.
It's going to be ridiculous. Yeah. We're not even sure it's legal to do it, but we're going to try.
Or if we can even fit it into 5 minutes, but we're going to try.
So let's get started, because we only got 5 minutes to do this.
All right, ready?
Go.
The first album we're going to review is Gnarls Barkley, Odd Couple. Came out on March 21st on Atlantic Records.
If you don't know who Gnarls Barkley are, you were probably dead during the summer of 2006 when Crazy was like the biggest hit of the year, but they're absolutely worth seeing in concert. CeeLo and Danger Mouse, the two guys in the band, always dress up like characters from movies or just kind of like, you know, characters from American folklore. So it's quite a sight to see, and it's absolutely worth going to one of their shows.
I really like The Odd Couple, and this coming from someone who didn't really like 2006 Saint Elsewhere. The album is eerie and overall just moody and more epic, and obviously it's produced really, really well. I'm going to take it.
The thing that I really liked about The Odd Couple by Gnarls Barkley is that it defies expectations in a lot of ways. There's no obvious single like Crazy, and the album's a lot more dense and packed than Saint Elsewhere was. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I think it makes you take them more seriously and not just look at them like a novelty act. The lyrics are more downtrodden, but overall, I think it's a really well-produced, well-recorded album. I'm going to take it.
The next album we're going to look at is Crystal Castles. It's self-titled, came out on March 18th on Last Gang Records.
And you can go to HEAVEmedia.com right now to read our full review of the new Crystal Castles album.
The Crystal Castles are actually a total product of internet hype, but what comes out of the self-titled album is like a Game Boy exploding in your brain. I thought it was great. The beats are relentless, as are just the overall energy of the whole album. I'm going to take it.
I've never been a big fan of electronic music, probably because I don't do acid, and that trend continues with the Crystal Castles. I'm sure that some people are going to like it. On the other hand, I kind of thought that it sounded like somebody took a Game Boy and just stuck it up to a microphone. Not my thing. I'm going to heave it.
The next album we're going to look at is These New Puritans. Album's called Beat Pyramid, came out on March 18th on Domino Records.
One of the interesting things about the New Puritans, although you would never know it from actually listening to the album, is that they cite the Wu-Tang Clan as one of their influences. ODB, rest in peace. But that right away, off the bat, makes them cool, and it gives them points towards this album.
They sound nothing like the Wu-Tang Clan. They sound like a poor man's Art Brut. They don't have the energy, the intensity, or the wittiness that Art Brut has. Therefore, I'm going to have to heave this album.
I didn't think there was anything particularly great about These New Puritans, and at the same time, I didn't think there was anything particularly terrible. It's just a solid indie rock album with a British sound to it. Kind of sounds like The Strokes with a British accent. So if you like English people and you like The Strokes, you're probably going to like These New Puritans. So I'm going to take the album.
Next album we're going to look at is Destroyer. It's called Trouble in Dreams. Came out on March 18th as well, and it is on Merge Records.
Interesting fact about Destroyer, it's actually the side project for a member of the New Pornographers, who are one of the best, most melodic bands out there right now, and a band that everybody here at HEAVE Media really likes.
Normally I'm going to like anything that the New Pornographers touch, and this is no different. Destroyer's music is really good, but lyrics are where he really shines. He's insightful, he's witty, and he's overall just a great writer. His lyrics will keep you coming back for more, and each time you listen, you're going to find something new you like. I'm definitely going to take this album.
I thought that the music on Trouble in Dreams actually mirrored how interesting the lyrics were. There's a lot of tempo changes, there's a lot of time signature changes, and it goes from like a really happy pop song to a much more Baroque kind of pop song. And you know the old saying, if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it. So I like the album a lot. I think it's really interesting. You can hear a little bit of the New Pornographers in there, so I'm going to take this album.
The third album we're going to look at is Elbow. It's called Seldom Seen Kid. It's on V2 Records. It's out in the UK, but it's not out yet in America. It'll be out in mid-April at some point.
Elbow's always been known as a really innovative band. When they played the Leeds Festival in 2002, they recorded the entire audience, which was like 150,000 people, shouting, "We still believe in love, so fuck you." And then they used that track on the last track of their second album. They actually put it on their studio album. So they're a really innovative, really interesting band.
Musically, Elbow is really dark and gritty and almost garage sounding, and I normally don't have a problem with that. But mixed with Guy Garvey's gravelly, almost antique voice, it just makes for a very boring mix, and it was really hard for me to get through an entire listen to the album, so I am definitely going to have to heave this.
I actually completely disagree with Wes on this album. I'm a fan of Elbow, but even looking at it objectively, I think that it's probably my favorite album of the year and probably the best album of the year released so far. The title, The Seldom Seen Kid, it comes from a nickname of a friend of the band members who actually killed himself. But rather than being a real depressed album, it's actually all about redeeming love and redeeming friendship and trying to move past losing somebody. The music's cathartic and it's gritty and lots of times it has a big kind of full conclusion to it. So I think it's fantastic and I'm definitely going to take it. To recap, for the Gnarls Barkley album Odd Couple, I'm going to be taking it and Wes is going to be taking it. Wes will be taking the Crystal Castle's self-titled album, but I will be heaving it. Wes and I will both take the new Puritans Deep Pyramid album. We are both going to take the Destroyer Trouble in Dreams album. And I am going to take the Elbow Seldom Seen Kid album, and Wes is going to heave it.
That'll do it for this week's Take It or Heave It, where we reviewed 5 albums in 5 minutes.
Which, incredibly, was actually faster than Wes's last pregnancy.
Ew, not true. For HEAVEmedia.com, I'm Wes Soltis.
And I'm Ryan Peters.
Music and culture for the open-minded.